ha go twe fuel security le tshwanetse le nne le fuel ye ka re tsang dikgwedi tse tharo go sena sepe se se tsena mme ha re leng teng re tsamaya ha kae betso 9 days. Fuel security, reasonable minimum, 90 days. Botswana, Republic of Botswana, at the moment, fuel security can only take us 9 days. How ka ska gata lo kwani le pehe 9 days ora di koloi di ene so te le tsa lona to ke le bolella di emotse ke te re ska ra nna le ke tsa etsego rothe ha gore re hakae. This is where we are.
Yes, here we are. Greetings and welcome everyone, family, brothers and sisters. That is a shocking revelation from President Duma Boko of Botswana. Warned that the country's fuel reserves could last only 9 days if supplies stop. This comes after escalation in the Middle East. While Botswana's President Duma Boko expressing the concern on the shortage of oil in his country, something is totally different. President Donald Trump has said what we see, it is just a short-term oil price which will drop rapidly when the destruction of the Iran nuclear threat is over. It is a very small price to pay for US and the world's safety and peace. Only fools would think different. That is Mr. Trump. So if you think different, it means you are a fool, according to President Donald Trump. So you may ask yourself, how is it possible that a continent of Africa with a huge deposit of oil, countries are running out of oil, while in Africa, in many countries that has those commodities, has no conflict? Why? We have oil, but we are running out of these commodities. Let me share what Professor one time said, Professor Piero Lumumba, about our oil.
And a disunited Africa is then susceptible to manipulation. She can no longer be allowed, or she cannot participate in decision-making in a manner that is in the long-term interest of Africa. Look at several sectors. And I want us to look at the sector of oil and the sale of oil on a retail, and look at the players in the African soil. If it is not Total, it is Rubis. If it is not Rubis, it used to be ExxonMobil. If it is not any one of those, it is one that is associated with them. It is ELF. So that African countries are always getting the short hand of the stick.
Something shocking has just been revealed. President Duma Boko has warned that Botswana could run out of fuel in just 9 days. If global supply chains collapse, 9 days. 9 days before trucks stop moving. 9 days before hospitals struggle to run generators. 9 days before food supply chains begin to break. And what is a geopolitical earthquake unfolding thousands of kilometers away? The potential closure of the Strait of Hormuz, a narrow waterway between the Persian Gulf and the Gulf of Oman, but one that carries nearly 20% of the world's oil supply every single day. If this artery closes, the consequences will ripple across the entire planet. But here's the question that should disturb every African. Why would Botswana, in a continent rich with oil, run out of fuel in 9 days? Why would Africa, a land blessed with some of the world's largest energy reserves, face an energy crisis caused by events in the Middle East? Tonight, we ask a deeper question, a question that has haunted Africa for decades. Who really controls African oil? Imagine the global economy as a giant machine. Oil is its blood, and the Strait of Hormuz is one of its most vital arteries. Every day, nearly 20 million barrels of oil pass through this narrow corridor. Tankers carrying crude oil from the Gulf states to Asia, Europe, and beyond. Even the natural gas that heats homes in Europe travels through this same corridor from Qatar. If this corridor shuts down, the world doesn't just face an energy problem, it faces an economic earthquake. Fuel prices skyrocket. Shipping slows. Food becomes more expensive. Air travel collapses. Entire economies feel the shock. But while rich nations scramble to secure alternative supplies, Africa faces a painful irony, because Africa is not just an energy consumer. Africa is an energy giant. Africa holds some of the largest untapped oil reserves on Earth. Let us start with Namibia. Recent offshore discoveries in the Orange Basin are estimated to contain over 11 billion barrels of oil. At current domestic consumption levels, about 24,000 barrels per day. Namibia could theoretically supply its own energy needs for over 1,200 years. 1,200 years. Think about that. An entire millennium of energy independence. Yet the reality is very different. Once production begins, most of Namibia's oil will likely be exported to international markets. Not to African refineries. Not to African industries, but to global energy giants. And Namibia is not alone. Africa's oil map is vast. Let us look at a few of its giants. Nigeria, Africa's largest oil producer. For decades, Nigeria has pumped millions of barrels of oil per day, yet millions of Nigerians still experience fuel shortages and electricity blackouts. Why? Because most of Nigeria's crude oil is exported, and refined fuel is imported back at higher prices. Then there is Angola, another oil powerhouse. Angola exports massive volumes of crude oil to international markets, yet its economy remains vulnerable to global price fluctuations. And we cannot forget Libya, a nation with some of the largest oil reserves in Africa. Yet political instability and foreign interests have kept its energy wealth entangled in global geopolitics. So the question becomes unavoidable. Africa produces oil. Africa exports oil. Africa imports fuel. And when global supply chains break, Africa runs out of fuel. When President Duma Boko warned that Botswana could run out of fuel in 9 days, he was not just describing a logistical problem. He was revealing a structural reality. Botswana is not an oil producer. It depends heavily on imports. Most of its fuel arrives through regional supply chains linked to South African refineries and international imports. But if global oil flows are disrupted, those supply chains break. Suddenly, a country in southern Africa becomes vulnerable to events thousands of kilometers away. Events in the Middle East. Events in shipping lanes. Events in geopolitics. This is the danger of dependency. The discovery of oil in Namibia has attracted enormous global attention. Major international oil companies are already competing for access. And global powers are watching closely. The United States maintains one of its largest diplomatic missions in Africa, in Vienna. Energy companies from Europe and Asia are racing to secure contracts. Why? Because energy is power. Control energy, and you influence global politics. Control oil, and you influence global economies. So when Africa discovers new oil reserves, the world pays attention. But the key question remains, will Africa control its own resources, or will history repeat itself? Let us ask the questions many leaders avoid. Who controls Nigerian oil? Who controls Angolan oil? Who controls Libyan oil? Who controls Africa's energy future? Is it African governments? Is it multinational corporations? Is it global financial institutions? Or is it a complex web of international interests that has shaped Africa's energy systems for decades? These questions are not about blame. They are about sovereignty. Because energy independence is national independence. Botswana's warning should not create fear. It should create awareness. Africa does not lack energy. Africa lacks control of its energy systems. The solution is clear. Africa must build refineries. Africa must build pipelines. Africa must trade energy within the continent. Africa must control its resources, from Nigeria to Angola, from Namibia to Libya. A new vision is needed, a Pan-African energy strategy, because the future of Africa cannot depend on distant shipping lanes, and it cannot depend on foreign markets. Africa must power Africa. The question is no longer whether Africa has the resources. The question is whether Africa has the will. The awakening has begun.
So to conclude, family, brothers and sisters, let us go back to my point that the only solution for Africa to move out of this crisis, not just only on the issue of oil, the issue of food, the issue of security, is for African countries to come together and unite. Just imagine right now, Africa has huge deposit of oil. You heard about Namibia has enough oil, but a neighboring country of Botswana has running out of oil. But just imagine if we are united, we are working together, we are building our refinery industries to purify our oil. It means there's no need for us to cry for oil, for shortage of oil. We have to use our own oil. It is difficult, I know, because these oaks, they are looking and watching for us. They are targeting those countries whom they try to move up. They will make sure that we remain in the same position. What we see in Middle East, any country that looks like lazy, they are making sure that that country must go back. They don't want any country to move up. That's why they bombed Nigeria, not because there's Christian genocide, no, because they want to say that you Nigeria, you are moving faster, stop. That's how they control. And the problem that Africa we have allowed these people to station their military bases here in the continent of Africa. These bases are being used to threaten our leaders not to take actions, not to create things good for their people. Now we have political leaders who are in fear, who can't decide, who can't do what is good and right for their people. Why? Because in the neighboring country or in the next door, there's military base that is watching and monitoring them. If you do this, we are going to remove you. If you do that, we are going to assassinate you. That's how these things are working. But we have been saying that we Africans, we need to sacrifice ourselves. We need to come together. If they are going to assassinate all of us, it's okay. We'll not be here for a long time, for 100 years. We'll be here, we'll move out, we'll die. Let us die for the benefit of our coming generation. Look how we are suffering right now, brothers and sisters. So we fear to die for war, for taking decisive actions. Now we are going to die for the shortage of food. We are going to die for hunger. We are going to die for energy crisis. People in the hospitals are going to die. You see, so there's a lot of things that will make Africa suffer if we don't take decisive and serious actions against those who are trying to undermine us. We are going nowhere. You know, sometimes I've been asking our leaders, do they fear death? And why they fear? Because death is there. You can say, I want to live 100 years, 1,000 years. It is impossible, brothers and sisters. Death is there. Why don't you do things that is okay? We have heroes such as Patrice Lumumba. He was gone. Nyerere was gone. Nkrumah was gone. And many others. Mugabe was gone. So even you who are in power today, he has to come, you will be out. You will die. So why you fear to die today for purpose? And you want to die? He has to come because you have looked nice for people who are exploiting us. So family, brothers, sisters, let us not speak for too long, but it is paining. It is paining when I see people suffering while we have leaders who can make decisions. I know our leaders have given gifts, have given homes, different capitals in Washington, in wherever they are, the family are enjoying, but that is not enough. To be a leader doesn't mean you have to care your only family. You are not making the better future for your family. To be a leader is to show the way to the rest of your people. To lead well. But right now, we have politicians. We have politicians instead of having leaders. That's what we have right now in Africa. we have few leaders right now in the continent of Africa. Many of them are politicians. They're just talking, they're just betraying, they're just working for the Western agencies. That's what we have right now. Leaders are few. And if we have leaders, there's no reason for we to run out of fuel. There's no reason for us to suffer for hunger while we have horrible land, water, bodies, everything is here. So, family, brothers and sisters, for those few words, let me say thank you. Have a nice time. See you next time. Thank you.
Thank you.